Adwa TV, bringing good things to life.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to your favorite show, Family Life, on Adwa TV. Thanks so much for tuning in to learn with us again this week. We are so grateful, and we hope you not learn alone. Call a friend to join you so that we all learn for the betterment of ourselves and our communities as well. Today, too, we are here with you with another interesting and educative topic. We know you are eager to know what we'll be learning today. But don't forget, we are not only live on TV, we are also streaming on Facebook at Adwa TV Ghana. My name is Benedicta. When we return from the break, I'll introduce our topic and guest to you.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Announcements on Adwa TV. Contact Adwa TV for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork premises. Adwa TV, bringing good things to life.
Welcome back. This is Family Life on Adwa TV. I am Benedicta. We are still looking at how to raise children, and today we have another important topic, principles a child must know or learn before growing. I believe we all want our children to grow up to be responsible adults, and our Papa is in the house. He will be helping us to discuss this important topic. I know you've missed him. I've also missed him. Let's welcome Evangelist Patrick Tego. Patrick, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, we've missed you.
I see.
2022, we've not seen you.
Busy about the master's work.
It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
And this time we are trying to focus much on children. So today we are looking at some principles that children should learn before they grow. But before we go into details, someone might ask, when we talk of principles, what exactly are we referring to?
All right, permit me to say a very good morning to our cherished viewers. Children are very important in our lives, especially within the family context. And so there is a way they ought to be brought up in life so that one day they will not mix their mark. So we talk about principles. Virtually, we are talking about values and norms, things that will help them to shape their lives for them to be a better leaders tomorrow. And so it's very important when you talk about values or principles that we need to train our kids with.
Okay, but then basically it's like parents pass on what they value to their children.
Yeah.
Now we have to look at that part too. Maybe what you think is right might not be what society is considering to be right. So how can we choose the values you are talking about?
All right. Choosing might be a very difficult word to use in this context. The way children are brought up sometimes, we need to be cautious and how we take them through the process in life. Generations are shifting from one level to another. Our times cannot be compared to the time that they are in now. Now the computerized world, IT world, technology world, compared to days in the past. So for a parent to restrict the kids to some of these things might be very difficult. You in turn as a parent even would need the guidance of these kids to train you up. Let me put it in the right way. Maybe for them also to help you to update yourself into the current situation now. Because for now, if you are there and you don't know anything about IT, you need to upgrade yourself because the system is changing and you can't do without it. And now they are much focused in that area. So they in turn also needs to help you. Number two, talking about our values and then the principles. We were brought up in certain ways. Number one, humility, and then obedience. These are some of the powerful keys that we need. And so these young ones will be looking up to you as a parent to see whether the very things you are talking about, you will see it in the context of their life, in your life and as a marriage as well. And so it's not just about talking. It's not just about instructing them to move on, but what do they see within your life? What they see between you and your husband, probably between their mom and then their dad. Those are the examples that they will pick up. When you look at society, and then the training you want to offer to your kids, that is where I think parents ought to be a little bit strict, because society will give us some free space. It's like you are adults talking about the 18-year plus, and even today they are adding the 16s and the 17 years. And so allow them to make their choices. Let them have freedom of life. Let them have this in life. Society will push a lot on them. But since you know the best, no parent want to see the kids suffering. No parent will see a child struggling in the future. So they will automatically give you the best. But sometimes how it goes about is what is the problem. So teach them with love, guide them with love, help them to understand the principles you are teaching them and relate it into their future. So it's not a matter of being too much strict, but sometimes how to guide them when they are off track, how to bring them on track. So the contest between the family and then the society, a little bit cautious ought to be taken. They will meet a lot of people in society. The very things you teach them to honor as principles in your home, when they visit friends and other people, they might not see the thing working over there. And that is why the corrections and then the teaching and then the impartation must go with love. Once you express yourself to them in a manner that they will begin to understand you, I believe they will flow with it.
Okay, so there is no set of principles that we have to follow because it can differ from person to person.
Yeah, depending on where we were brought up from. In my family, maybe I'm being taught humility. I am taught obedience. I am taught kindness. I am taught how to relate to adulthood. When you are matured and you are a young guy or a young girl, you see an adult, how to relate with them, greeting after school, greeting when you wake up in the morning. We know values that will shape you to be a better person in life. In other families, we have what we call the free range. You wake up, you can choose to greet, you can choose not to. You can choose to respond to whatever they are telling you, can choose not to. Nobody cares about it. But within the context that we are coming from, it is our prayer that all kids will follow these strict protocols, of which I believe it will be of help to them.
Yeah, but Patrick, from what we are saying, the examples that you've mentioned, they are good things. But then what if in a particular family, they are not following that. How can we help with that?
I think one of the best way for them to learn, it is not too late to adapt certain principles in your family, probably if you have not yet started. So Adwa TV is there. We are now having family life. It's one of the strategies for you to learn. Number two, you can also look up to other families where you see this kind of principles being trained in their kids. I mean, we can tell. Sometimes you will meet a particular young guy and the young guy say, wow, you are coming from a wonderful family. I love your parents, the way they brought you up. So why don't you also adapt from that family? Help them to help you so you can train your own children to be a better future tomorrow. So we learn from other people. We also have the opportunity to read books. We go for seminars. We go for conferences. All these areas are there. We can communicate even with their teachers at school just for them to help. The Sunday school is also there when they go to church on Sunday. So all these areas are part of informing them with better principles in life so that one day they'll be a better people for us.
Okay. Patrick, you mentioned love. Now, in raising up children, example, looking at correction, how can we put love and that together?
But Bible says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Scripture again says, train up a child in the way they are supposed to go, so that when they grow, they will not depart. So it's all about training and then teaching. And the foundation of that principles must come from the Bible, which in turn affects every area of their life, be in academics and what have you. When we are talking about training with love, sometimes your kid or your child might misbehave to the extent that you may heartbeat. And if care is not taken, you might even take a knife or a stick and you want to hit the child back because pain probably that the child is causing you. But number two, we are trying to reform their thinking. We are trying to adjust the character that is wrong. And so in doing so, relate yourself to this very child. You are the top, the child is down. And therefore you need to digest every information that the child will need to their level, not to your standard. It's just like a bird who gives birth to some little ones and then, get their food and everything. The adult one ought to digest the food in the way that the younger ones might be able to take it. So let's take it from that very angle. Help your kids to understand the language you are speaking. Sometimes we speak to them on our level as adults, not to their level. And that is where we need to break it down so that they will understand. Why are you screaming? Sometimes even the children we have of late, once you call them and you shout, they have the boldness to tell you, Mommy, why are you screaming? Why are you shouting? Am I a child? And you are still a child. 13, 14 years is asking the mother, am I a child? Who are you then? But you see, the level and the system is changing. That is why I believe in training with love. I may sit you down quietly and I will pick it from an angle where you will begin to understand. There are people in this world who are role models. Everybody loves their lifestyle, their character, the way they behave. I may begin to share some of these examples with you to know where they start from, where they ended, and where they are today by the grace of God. So if you are determined one day to be an adulthood who will be responsible one day, because automatically one day you're going to be a mom, you're also going to be a dad. How are you going to handle your own family when you get married one day? You need to build up a foundation, and it's supposed to be a solid one. So this is what you need to understand. Number one, I want you to understand that when I place this thing here and you take it without any permission, there is an opportunity for me to discipline you. The discipline ought to come with love. When I give you the first chance, and then the second chance, and then the third chance. The third chance, I'm not going to cross to the fourth. I will pick you up. I will give you some lashes. When I finish, I will bring you back to the table again, and I'll begin to explain to you. The reason why I use the lashes on you and the cane on you, not because I hate you, but because I love you. Remember, I told you this and that, and you disabled for the first time, for the second time, even to the third time. But this time around, spare the rod, spoil the child. So I am bringing the rod to direct your thinking and the way you ought to do some of these things. Once I finish with that, I don't frown on you. I now begin to let you know that, listen, I'm still your dad, I'm still your mom, and you need to get close to me. But when we beat them and we discipline them, and then you frown as a mom and you continue shouting and screaming, they may see it in the form of threats and they will love to defend themselves, which in turn will bring a whole lot of chaotic situation. So the training goes with love also. Number two, when you train them and you discipline them when they go wrong, don't let the bitterness in you as a parent should stay for a longer period. Let them know, I have forgiven you, because forgiveness is also part of the principle. So when they know that mommy gets annoyed, daddy gets annoyed, but within a short period of time, they are able to let go. then I am learning from their examples and I will grow with it. That is why today we can sit here and adulthood and then we can talk of some of examples the way we were brought up. You say, for my mom, when she gets annoyed, within 30 minutes, she's okay. How did you get to know? Because she practiced that very thing in your very presence when you were very young. And you adapted it unconsciously. And by the grace of God, it has been of help to you. So we shouldn't hold on to bitterness for a long time. When we correct them, it should be with love. Explain to them the reason why I am disciplining you, so that they will understand, okay, this is what I did, and mom got offended. And that is the reason why she came on board to discipline me. Next time, I will not repeat that again. And I think it will help.
Okay, so it is quite important to explain
very important.
When we are disciplining them.
Yeah. Once I pick up the rod, there should be an explanation to follow. I am not doing it out of bitterness or out of pain or out of frustration. Most parents are frustrated from their workplaces, their family houses, in the midst of their friends. And if care is not taken, the little mistake that this child will commit, they will bring their frustration on such a child, which to me, it is wrong. So know how to sieve your own problems. This one is not a matter of my family. I closed from work. I had a problem with my boss. The moment I entered into my own house, I have to change my mood. I have to change my attitude towards my family. They have done nothing wrong to me. The confrontation I had at the office is what provoked me. What has my family got to do with this? So there must be a quick shifting, so that the people in the family will receive their portion in a very nice way, so that they will not learn from the example. You just came from work and they welcome you and they hug you, mom, and then those kind of things. Like, what have we done? We've worked, we've cleaned, we've cooked, we've done everything correct. Why are they screaming, mommy? Why are they shouting? Your frustration is coming from somewhere else. But learn to create a balance and know how to shift the poles when it happens.
And that requires practice.
Very important. Maybe 10 minutes to the house. Just get down as a parent and then give yourself a smile. It might not be a good one. You are still bitter, but help yourself with a smile. When you do it and it's not sinking down well, go for one yogurt. By the time you finish taking the yogurt, at least the heartbeat and everything will begin to calm. Think about the lovely family you have, how you cherish them and you respect them and you love them. So don't carry this bitterness to them. Just like you are coming from a workplace in the season of Corona. You want to preserve and then protect yourself, because this family is the one I love. And I wouldn't want to transmit anything to them. So we need to train ourselves as well as adulthood, that we will not release our bitterness and our pain on our kids when it is not right.
Okay, and now let's go back to the system. We are in the system now, and probably your family have some values that you respect, but then it looks like now things have changed. The people will be referring to you as Kolo Kolo. What should you do in this instance?
Bernard, principles and values can be adjusted but cannot be changed. I was telling somebody the other day, the kind of clothing our young guys and our young ladies are wearing today, they call it fashion. In their own eyes, they call it fashion. Retreat back to the days of old, and you will see our great-grandparents using the same cloth, the same shoes, and the same hairstyle sometimes. And so what has changed? Nothing new under the sun. The only difference we have in our generation is that we have adapted certain things to already what is there. So you can beef up the information that you have and then let your kids begin to understand. If I was brought up in the way, probably I wasn't trained with IT or computer things and stuff. And then I look at my children now, and IT is becoming one of the foundation in academics. I wouldn't tell them because I didn't have the privilege to study IT, so I'm going to restrict my kids from studying IT. I have open mind, I am matured, I can think through. I may not know the technicalities of all the things about IT, but once I look at the system, that is the order of the day, where the power points within it are helping people to grow and to learn. So I have to guide them, give them the opportunity, give them the privilege to exploit by using it. At the end of the day, when they study, it is also going to benefit me as well, because they will have the privilege of teaching me as well. Dad or mom, this is exactly what you are supposed to do with your phone. This is how you have to handle it. This is how you are going to search this one. I mean, it is there, but we cannot uproot the foundation of the very principles we believe in. I know one particular family, and I have respected them all these years. One of the principles they have is no alcohol in our family. And when they say no alcohol in a family, they mean business. Their naming ceremonies, their weddings, and their funeral stuffs and everything, it's all about soft drinks and food. And the way they carried the thing, it became like a god in the family. And so when you are growing, you begin to learn the norms of these things. That in our family, we don't go by this. And you hear people normally talking about this. In our family, we don't do this. In our family, we don't do that. It's a strong principles. The ones who were teaching them were in impacting them with love, they were impacting them with wisdom and then direction as well. So there is no way you can shift from these angles, and you need to, just abide by it. I saw my dad probably when we were very young. When we come back from school and he will begin to help us with our homeworks and stuff and things. Other families don't even have the time when the child should bring back the homework. Do it on your own, struggle to get somebody to help you. But for me, the father or the mother, no time. But we have the privilege. I grew up and I picked that lifestyle. Okay, it is good for me at that time. Why don't I transport this in the life of my kids? By helping them with the assignment, by helping them to understand the very thing they brought back home. So some of these principles cannot be changed. You can add value to it, but you cannot change it. You know, days of food, we were grinding pepper and all other stuffs and things on the stone. But today, because of these microwave stuffs and then blenders and stuff, our grandparents can get to the kitchen for 1 hour and bring a stew out. In your generation, within 15 minutes, the stew is okay.
Patrick, what are the principles that children should learn before growing?
Number one, let's talk about obedience.
Okay.
A very strong one, which every family needs to handle very well. We have seen a lot of kids growing up, and you can tell the moment they appear that this child is not disciplined. When we say you are not disciplined, then we can trace it to the family where you are coming from. So we shouldn't break the root foundation of discipline. Obedience is the very key. Every child ought to be obedient, whether to their parents, to people who are older than they are, or even to their age mates. Show respect and dignity to all. So once you lose the mark of obedience, you're on your own. I have seen 13, 14, 12 years old children, the way they talk, the way they carry themselves. Sometimes if care is not taken, you will box them with your blows, because you least expected a child at that age to behave the way they are behaving. And you will even see somebody at the age of 20 years or 25 years, and the way they will approach you and talk to you, begin to wonder what a discipline, what a character, what a lifestyle. So we should watch the power of obedience in our family, train them, teach them. When they divert, discipline them, bring them back on track. You are not doing it for today, but you are doing it for the future. And this thing goes a long way to affect the lives of many people. And so you see young guys even getting married to young girls. Some of these guys will raise their voice. I have married one of the girls who is so much respectful and obedient. Another guy will tell you, my wife doesn't respect, she doesn't obey anything. She is arrogant, she is proud, because they were all coming from two different families. So the way the family raise up their responsibility in training the kids is very, very important. Today I can bet and tell you that most of our children have gone wayward because parents don't have time for them. Do whatever pleases you. They use languages they are not supposed to use. They dress in a certain way they are not supposed to do. All these things boils down to obedience. So the parents ought to explain some of these things. Watch what you wear on your body. Watch the way you talk. Watch the way you misbehave towards elderly people. And then you will grow with it to become a responsible person. Miss the key of obedience and your family is broken.
So Patrick, it's like parents themselves must know these principles before they can impact it.
But now what you don't know, you can teach, and what you don't have, you can give. Even if you lack it as a parent, what I am saying is learn from other sources, learn from other parents. You watch television a lot, you see most of these family programs being run on national televisions. Why can't you give yourself space and time and then learn? You might have friends whose children are very obedient, they are smart. Sometimes you meet them and you desire, how I wish my children were like this. And I have a lot of parents making these statements all the time. It is not a matter of how I wish, but make time available and learn from their example, and then begin to train your own kids with it. You can't afford to mix it. Too expensive to joke with. You can't. And you need to do it in a way for them to know that I have a future to face one day. And without these ingredients in my life, how can I meet the future that is coming to me? So obedience is very, very important. Number two, we can also talk about humility. You know, when we talk of humility, people sometimes just feel like it is not even important anymore. But when kids begin to learn about some of these things, they will always be content with whatever they have from their parents and even from their schools and the other places. You are not comparing yourself to any other body. You want to focus on what you have and the way you were brought up. So humility will take you to so many places. The opposite side will bring about the pride and then the arrogance. So you don't have humility, all these things will become very tough to you to handle. And so despite the fact that your parent might be rich, they might be wealthy, but you still need to humble yourself. Don't allow the wealth of your parents move through your head and then affect your character, the way you behave. You can mix your children with other students, other kids as well from different families. Sometimes as a result of their parents dropping them in some flashy cars, and then probably you have to go with trotro, taxi or Uber and stuff and things. They get to the classroom, and when they start to debate, then you hear them say, for me, dad brings me on his car, I mean the Lexus and this and that and that. You know, kids can brag sometimes. And then the other parties that are coming from the 205 and the trotro stations and the things and stuff, they begin to just call themselves, wow. But if those who are fortunate to be in the wealthy hands of their parents will learn to humble themselves, they will be the one to encourage the other ones who are not able to meet their target. That, hey, listen, life is a journey. Today we have started. Your parents are on the track. One day, it is my prayer, they will also get you some good stuffs. Even if we are closer to where your house is, I can talk to my dad so that when we are coming, we can pass by and then pick you up and then we all come to school together. Teach them these things and let them grow with it. The next thing I'll talk about is their character.
Okay.
Character, which now I can say is breaking a lot of necks within the couple's marriage. I mean, the father and the mom. Sometimes you look at the character of these children, you begin to wonder who trained these kids, where did they learn these things from? And sometimes they exhibit certain things. As a parent, you begin to wonder, I never teach these things. I never give them the platform to learn these things. So where are these things coming from? These things are coming from what I call the free environment. It's just like free Wi-Fi. Everybody just log in and then they begin to download whatever they want to download. So when they don't have restrictions and they don't have certain things to guide them, then they begin to break the protocols. But I have seen somebody in the midst of friends, a young guy at the age of 30 years, and then these boys met at work time. And everybody was drinking some strong liquor and other stuff. And the young man was there and they came to the young man and said, give me some malt. And everybody began to smile. Uncle, malt in this generation. Don't you need something hard to vibrate your body? The way they were screaming, they were shouting, they were dramatizing the whole thing. The young guy says, in my family house, there are principles of which I cannot break. It started a long way back before my generation. I need to impact this thing into the next generation. I wouldn't want to be the victim over here. So let me maintain the standard. Give me my malt. If there is no malt, give me water to drink. And I'll carry on with my. You need to stand on your principle. Nothing should scare you. Nothing should deter you off. So the character of our kids should be watched. You have young girls, young guys in your family. They are coming up. The way they talk, the way they dress, the way they move around. You knew as a parent that this is not right. How then can I put them to order? Like I said earlier on in my submission, you don't scream, you don't shout. Find the appropriate time. Sit them down. Say, well, come to me. I'ma come to me. Come to me. Now come to me. Can we have a stroll? Sometimes you don't need a chair to talk to them. Hold their hands. Just take to the street. On your way going, God in his own infinite wisdom will begin to show you many examples, especially concerning their dressing. And so you see somebody nightly dressed. It's like, do you see that woman? Do you see the young guy? How is he dressed? Is it nice? And then you see their poos and the nasty ones as well. And then now you begin to compare and begin to teach that, listen, you are a young girl, you are a young guy. When you pick this kind of lifestyle and begin to dress anyhow, nobody respects you in the community, nobody respects you in the society. Everybody sees you to be a wayward child, and so people will treat you per the way they see you. If you want people to respect you, people to love you, and people to care for you, check the way you're dressed, because your appearance is also very important in everything you do, especially as a young lady. You don't dress in. You don't wear clothes that will heap up your breast and then begin to shoot them up. You are not acting movies. You are a disciplined child being brought up in the wisdom and the fear of God. Forget about what the world is teaching and follow the principles which has been extracted out of the Holy Scriptures. And I believe it's going to be of greater help to you. So sometimes take them to a stroll, take them to places, help them to see things with their own eyes. So when you begin to inform them, when you begin to teach them, then the pictures they saw whilst taking them through town will flash back into their minds. You may be watching television with them. You need to help them with the positives and the negatives. See the way they are dressed. They have put on such clothes because of the role they are acting to depict exactly what is happening over there. It does not mean when you see it, you should also put it on yourself. Teach them through the things they watch. Be there, guide them, and they will grow with it. If you don't, character, I am telling you on authority today, is causing most of our young girls not to marry. They have bad characters, but they have the beauty. And no man is interested in any young lady with beauty without character. Very important. Put your beauty aside. Give me your character. I will use my money to buy beauty for you. So character is very key. Young girls who don't have character, they don't sit at home, they don't learn how to cook, they don't know how to wash, they don't know how to iron, they don't know anything. Ask them to prepare you some light soup. Oh, Jesus. And for the first time, you will eat light soup and you will run. Because they don't have character, they don't have discipline. And so parents should watch and open up their eyes. When this basis comes to the foundation of every child, they will grow to be responsible. At the age of 13, 14 years, children should learn how to cook, both men and women. The division of women learn how to cook. And what about the young guys? Teach them their own principles and teach them also how to be responsible. One day they will be married men and they have wives and children to take care of. So they shouldn't also miss the mark. It's a combination of the two. So the parents should be active in whatever they do.
Yeah, but Rashid, you mentioned movies, and I'm very happy you mentioned that, because you see that nowadays the children, they copy a lot from what they see, and it's like you mentioned, they need guidance because they are just there, they watch. Now what they see, they feel that is what is going on now, especially with the dressing, and then they move ahead with that, and then they think, oh, they are following the trend. So I'm very, very grateful that you've mentioned guidance in this.
Yeah. The content of what they watch, especially with this IT of late, this internet and stuff and things, and your child is probably 12, 13, 14, they know how to use the phone, they know how to set things on the net. That is where the danger is. And I'm saying that don't restrict them to use it, but be a guide unto them. Because there are good things also that they can learn from the internet. So you have to be there. Teach them. When you are on the net and then this thing appear, be very mindful of what you open, because any of this nudity that enters in becomes so stuck to your mind that you can't erase it. It will be there until somebody guides you and then help you. Now you will begin to desire for more. This is what pushed them now watch pornography and then nude pictures on the internet. Even at age 11, they are watching pornography. 10 years, they are on the internet watching this thing. And surprisingly, you will see the mother at one corner playing with the phone, the father at one corner playing with the phone, and the kids have their own tablets, and the net is on, everybody vibrating. Nobody is there to cross-check what these kids are watching. And I had a pastor friend of mine. One day he was preparing some PowerPoint slides just to present at church. And the kids wanted to watch something on his tablet. And then they picked the tablet and then they downloaded some naked stuffs and things. And this man also wanted to show the video. And so these videos entered to the video that they want to show the examples to. The man of God got to the platform, opened the thing, shoot the first one. And the guy projecting the thing was like, hey, then quickly they cut the thing. But the information has come out. So your kids are there. Whatever they go through, be by their side. Be inquisitive in their lives. Sometimes even when they have their own rooms, I believe at certain stages we need to respect their privacy. But when they are too young for that, just enter into their room without knocking. Surprised to see what is happening over there. But when they are matured and they are in their 20s getting to their 30s, sometimes you need to respect their privacy. And then in respecting their privacy, indirectly you're also teaching them that you also need to respect the privacy of other people, so that they will also learn how to grow with it. You don't bounce on people just like that. Knock, seek for their permission, and then get there. If your care is not taken, you just enter into there, bang, 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 bang. One day you'll be there with your husband in your room. Probably you might be enjoying. They will also learn from the same principles of coming without knocking. And they will open and they will see the entire movie of their life in your room. And so we should be very mindful of the way we train them with things and all that happens within our lives. So the net, the televisions, we ought to be smart about it. Our kids are going with what? We shouldn't deceive ourselves. We meet a lot of them in town and sometimes we feel like crying. Who brought these children up? What kind of lifestyle is this? Sometimes the pain to help them because we can't afford to lose them. And the reason why I am so happy about this kind of topic, you know, some parents are sleeping. And I believe it is time for them to wake up. You can't sleep in the generation that we are in now. I remember a story in the Holy Bible which talks about Jonah when God gave him an assignment. Just like God has given every parent an assignment. So when Jonah received that assignment, the Bible says he flee from the presence of the Lord and divert to his own way to have his own freedom. In the process, there was chaotic situation in the ship. Whilst everybody was struggling in finding solution to the problem, the shipmaster came around and found Jonah sleeping. When there is trouble, there is chaos in your family and things are not going well, and you still have the liberty to sleep and to enjoy yourself as a parent, the only fear I have because of marriage, I may train my own to be very good. When you refuse to train your own, and then one day these two people collide and they come together, what is your family going to invest in the one I have trained? So you have the positive and the negative. Once they zoom into the marriage warfare, then they begin to contend with one another because one person refused to train whilst the other person was sacrificing to train. So we should be very mindful of some of these things, that the future and the end is very important. I am doing these things for my daughters because I am making sure that one day when their husbands come, they will meet good materials to live with. Likewise, you having your sons as well. Discipline them in a way that they will also love their wives, treat them happily, live with them peacefully, and then they will just go with it. Last time we were here, we were going through one of the topics, and I was giving an example of a man who was married with a wife, and then every week the man has to beat the wife. They fight in the presence of the children. They fight all over their lives. When this child grew up, he got a nice woman to marry. They can stay for a week happily enjoying themselves. Then he remembers the story of the father. When we're being brought up, fine, I give my wife chop money, we sit at the dining table, we eat, we watch movies together, we go to town, we do this. But there is one thing dad used to do that I'm lacking. What is it? He said, dad used to beat my wife, my mama. So I thought beating was part of the marriage principle. So the man would just create a scene and then begin to beat the woman just to feel that, wow, now I'm a man and I have a marriage and things are running. One day we had a chance to meet him and we were able to correct some of these errors. So what they see happening within your marriage sometimes is what they also take into their own marriages, and we should be careful about that.
But Patrick, all these that you've said, we can also bring discipline there because, like you said, because the child learned that from the parents. As a grown-up, he decided that it is time to practice that. Same applies to when you learn good things. Yeah. Talking about discipline, when we have a situation where we have separation, the mother is elsewhere and then the father is elsewhere. Maybe the mother is the one taking care of the child is staying with the mother, but then the dad is the one who provides financially. Now, in disciplining the child, maybe the child has done something. When the man comes, the woman reports, this is what the child has done. Then as a means of disciplining, the man will say, okay, then I will not give you money today. Is that okay?
Yeah. Bernard, this topic, is raising my appetite. I wish I had 24 hours to digest this topic. Listen, in raising our families, especially the young ones that are coming, our children, what we need to do as parents is to sit to agree.
Okay.
When we don't sit as parents, there should be a family plan. How do I want to raise my family? How do I want to run the family? There should be a plan. Don't just sit there and then when the trouble starts coming, then you start looking for solutions somewhere else. Have a plan for your family. Have the principles boldly written down. And I have encouraged a lot of people to do that. So I visited one of these young couples, and the ethics and the principles that we give to them, they've been able to just type them boldly and they framed it. And that was the pictures they were using in their room. So you come and then you see this thing boldly written. Obedience is better than sacrifice. No smoking in this house. No this in that. Like the kids come and go each and every time, and they see these things over there. So it becomes part and parcel of them. So the parents should have a plan. They should sit with it. How, we can plan. We want to marry. After married, we want to build a house. After building a house, we need to get a car. After a car, can we have a family business? When we put all these things across, the next power point that we are forgetting, there should be also a plan how we should raise our children. So how do you think we should raise these children so that one day when we are no more, they will be able to contend with the world that they are in? And so the parents should just list the kind of things they will need. We are talking about discipline, character, and all those kind of things. They should list them, find supportive scriptures to them, look at examples of other people who are famous, who went these principles, and by the grace of God, their end has become so beautiful. Then make them as part of your package and then sit with them. So once I know we have on our family plan for our children, number one, discipline, and I just come from work and then my wife should report that this is exactly what your child did. Quickly, I need to sit with my wife. This is the act that the child has committed. What do you think? What do you think? I'm not asking of you to rethink of something else, but we go through the principles that we have set down, the objective of our principle that we have set down. Okay, so this is it. For what you have done, never deprive the child of food.
Okay.
No matter the crime the child commits, never deprive your child of food. Once you deprive the child of food or money, you have opened another gate, which the devil will be very much excited to pick your child and divert the course of the child into that lane. Now the child is hungry. Anybody who needs food and you deprive them of food, they will be very much aggressive. No matter the condition they found themselves, they need to find something out. So they can launch themselves out over there. A young boy may pick your girl and tell her, listen, if your dad refuses to give you money, I'll give you do this. When they satisfy themselves and they come back and they are okay and they repeat the same mistake and you keep telling them, I'm not going to offer you money again. Now they have found their comfort zone. So they will be there. And this guy will be there providing for this young one. One day, he will also release for a demand. How can I resist when you have supported me all these years? So take it free and go away. So giving the child no food is out of the equation.
So what if it is not food, but then other thing like phone that you've taken from the child?
With the phone, you can take it. But with food, the basic necessity, keep it to the child. Let the child eat, give the child school fees, pay the bills and everything. But with the phone, you can seize the phone for a moment. I am giving you an assignment. I am taking you through a process. When I see the transformation and the reformation in your life, and I can see that everything is well clocked, I may return it back to you. We all make mistakes in life. So there are things we should be mindful of when these children go wayward. We shouldn't be supportive. And mostly our mothers, they are too emotional in training their children. Sometimes you need to apply the rod. So the child messes up, the father picks a cane, and some of the fathers also to take heart. Because the way they lash these young ones is too much. The canes and the beatings are too much. Rah, 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 rah. Sometimes the mother sits back like, I went to the labor ward. You are not the one who went to the labor ward. And then the battle turns. Instead of correcting or rebuking the child, now the couples are fighting. Because number one, they have no plan. And so they are now being moved by things around them. And women and their emotions, you can't separate them. So let the father pick the kid. Ra one, ra two. Ni, eh, eh, eh. Now you can feel the pain. She can remember the day she was at the labor ward. If you continue with the next two, the mother will take the cane from you. What picture are we now painting to the child? Instead of them correcting me, they have taken the battle into their hands and they are fighting. So where is the discipline? Where is the discipline? So we should be mindful of some of these things and we should know how we should go about it. Sometimes when a child should mess up, you come back from work or you might be there and then they report it to you. You don't take direct decision. Allow space and time, which shouldn't be long.
Okay.
Maybe I may give you a day off. I have not forgotten, but I'm just trying to focus. And then the next day, I may call you when you are in your good mood. And I will bring this thing up. And then the teaching begins with love. And I will show you examples of my life. Where I am today, if I am not disciplined, if I have not had a good character, if I was not raised up well, do you think I will be here? Responsible enough to feed you, clothe you, pay your bills and everything. I went through all these things because of you. There is a generation ahead of you. One day, you will be the one to lead them. You know, there is a way we talk to them and their hearts will be broken. But you don't. You are making noise. You are not making correction. I know the heartbeat has changed. The level of commitment on that crime is too high for you, but still take it easy. We have the way to hold them and then talk to them. So we should be very careful. We should have principles. What we need to see in them. They might pick it from school. They might pick it in the midst of friends, the negative ones. So when they get back home and they start exhibiting them, you don't scream, you don't shout, you call for attention.
Okay.
And then just address the situation. And I believe everything will fall in line.
Okay. And Baratrick, you mentioned that parents should have a plan in raising the child. What if you have, like the instance you gave, one who is well trained, but then one who doesn't have any principles at all? How can they come together to choose the principles they want to use?
I think it falls and boils down to the power of agreement. Once I settle down with you, I'm in love with you, you're in love with me. We now have properties, and our kids and our children are one of the biggest property the Lord has given unto us. And so in your happy moments, yeah. You know, sometimes for us to agree as couples is when we are happy and we are sitting down, probably eating, smiling, watching a movie, and then the other party with the strong principles can now chip in. Honey, don't you think we should have a plan in raising our children? No man will shake their head and tell you no. Probably the man is going to turn and ask you, so what do you think? Now the gate has opened. So start listing your principles. Every man wants to see the children being brought up in a very nice way.
Yeah.
So when these principles begin to shoot up, it's a nice idea. As you keep moving, I believe in the power of the Holy Spirit. It can click into the man's mind. Probably he may also release some PowerPoint. Say, I also think if we should move it in this direction, it will be of help to them. It is not argument. It's called bring yourself. I've been trying to put things together to raise this young one. So once you dialogue and you communicate with each other in a very nice way, you will finish having everything out. So when we finish, why don't we put these things in plaques and then print them up, frame them, probably put it in their rooms so that they wake up every morning, every evening, every afternoon, they will see the thing speaking to them. It is the first level. We will also add our voice to it, but this, I think, will be of a better choice as well. So the parents can sit together, plan together, agree together, and then they can quickly move in.
Okay, Baratrick, you mentioned obedience and then humility. Can these two go together, or one they all take care of?
Yeah, you can find one in the other. It's like a component. They are all within. And so when I am disciplined, automatically obedience ought to be followed. If I don't have obedience, how can I be disciplined? If I don't have discipline, how can I have this? So they move hand in hand. So just let them know the value of some of these things, and then they will just grow with it.
Okay, now we have parents who feel they are raising their children up the Western way. So they give them so much freedom. They say certain things, they don't talk. Even when they're in the midst of other people, they don't talk. And then talking about obedience. Anyone else, apart from outside that family, might think, oh, this child has not been raised up properly. But then to them, it is okay because they feel, oh, we've given our child room to operate. How can we deal with that situation? If probably we think we follow some principles that this is the right thing. Right is right. It doesn't matter whether you see it that it is, oh, I've given my child freedom to operate.
Yeah, Bernard, this is Africa, and our culture cannot be compared to that of the Western world. Indirectly also, I'm saying that there are principles that the Western world may also hold, which are very, very important. And so we can do subtraction and then addition, just making sure that you will get the very best for your children. Them grow with it perfectly. And so don't just be stuck to one tradition. Explore, search, make research, and then get opinions and ideas. You may visit one family. You will see the wife, the husband, and the children in the hall. A visitor knocks at the door. As soon as the visitor enters the hall, nobody speaks. All the children will just walk out to their room. Go to another family. Let the visitor come. Raise the topic. These children will be there, and they will even add their voice to it. So it all boils down to discipline and obedience. If you train them, we will see the signs. If you refuse to train them, one day it will bounce back to you, the parent. Because the way they will talk to you in public, the way they will talk to you in presence of your husband or your wife, you will be shocked for the rest of your life. And this is where you see mothers having problems with their daughters. I've seen mothers who are not talking on good terms with their daughters for 2 years, and they're still living in the same house. And then the mother will be like, I will tell you that I'm the mother of this house. You are only a daughter. You are only a child. And the child will be like, I am also they rattle words. We shouldn't, I think, be. So we should be very careful about some of the things we train our kids with. And if care is not taken, we are creating the future. So let's do this with our hearts. Let's teach them the ones that are not right. There is a way to go about it. One of the dangerous topic that particular children and then their parents are afraid to talk about is sex. But I keep saying that there is a certain age when your children get to that level, talk to them about sex. We have made the thing like when you mention sex in the midst of the youth, it's like a demon. It's like a disaster. It's like a time bomb. But sex is a good thing created by God. But it was meant for a certain group of people. And so the teachings must come. Recently, I had the privilege to visit a family. I was just chatting with them. It was an open compound. A woman was sitting back and the woman was enjoying her food. I believe she was soaking the information. All of a sudden, I could see that she stopped eating. And she was quiet for a moment. When I finished and I was about to leave, then she called me. He said, can you make a date with me and come? I want my family to hear these good principles. I want you to help my family. And so when we stand to do some of these things, it is not just for us. It is for other people as well. So we should be careful, very, very careful about the things we exhibit in the presence of our children. The future pays for it.
Patrick, when is the right time to start introducing this topic about sex?
About sex, I think when they are in their teenagers, at least when your daughter or your son is 18 years and above. Today, the system has even changed to the extent that even the 11, 12, 13 years, they know much about sex. But there should be a way. Okay. You don't take them to the deep waters. I mean, you can have a flashpoint of it. So what I normally tell these young ones and these children that, listen, sex is a good thing. Sex is the reason why you are here. And they were like, ah. I say, yeah, if dad and mom never enjoyed that thing, you will not be here. That is the reason why you are here. So it's a good thing created by God. But remember that there is time for everything. This thing was designed by God, not just for people who are singles, but it is meant for people who are married, like myself and your dad, like myself and your mom. And that is what we acted upon. And then we are able to produce you. So it's a good thing that God created. We shouldn't blacklist that thing. We shouldn't destroy that thing. We shouldn't tag it with an evil point. It's a powerful thing. But the moment you turn it around in your own way, you have diverted the original plan of God. Now you are insulting the creation of God. And you are the creation of God. That is where the anger and the bitterness of God can come upon you. So when you are a child, like my daughter, as I'm talking to you right now, then you begin to let you understand these things. When you are young and you begin to enjoy sex, what you are welcoming into your life is a baby. And the question is, are you ready to have a baby whilst you are in secondary school? Are you ready to have a baby while you are in JHS? He said, no. I said, if you are not ready to have a baby, there is no need for you to have sex. So let the chapter be closed. One day when you are matured, you are working and you marry, God will open the door for you. You will get your own wife, you will get your own husband, and then you can bring that package into it, and then you will enjoy. So I make a practical example for you. Your mom is here. You are 20 years old. Mom is having a fresh baby. I said the breast milk was meant for the fresh baby. But this morning, mommy says she wants to feed you, the 20-year-old boy or the 20-year-old girl with the breast milk. Will you take it? He said, Daddy, I have grown past breast milk. I am mature than breast milk. It doesn't mean that breast milk is poison. It's a good food, but it is meant for babies. So adults don't enjoy breast milk for babies. The same way younger ones don't enjoy sex, but it is meant for the adulthood. So when you grow, the system will change to adapt, and then you just flow with it. We should have the passion and the pain in explaining things to them, dialogue with them, express yourself to them, and they will fall in love with you. When the teachings begin to sink in them, you will be there and they will be bringing questions to you. Mommy, today we are at school. Somebody did this, somebody did that. Now, out of what I have taught them, they are bringing back the response. And I need to build upon it to take them deep into the teachings. Along the line, they may wish to bring their friends on board. Now, they may also learn from the principles that you are giving to them. Then you'll be expanding the scope for other people as well to be blessed. So the teachings should be done in a very profound way. When they are young, know the level you hide them from. When they are grown above 18 and 20 year plus, they are into the thing. Getting pregnancy and impregnating somebody's daughter, the probability is very high. And that is where you need to sit them down, talk to them, and then encourage them, especially when they enter into secondary schools. Even the JHS one, I've added them. Formerly, I just took them out of the equation. But now, JHS people are even getting more pregnant than the university girls. So the JHS secondary schools and then the university, sit them down. And one thing parents are also missing that I think is making our children our friends. There is a certain age when they get to make them your friends. It's no more of the strictness of the father, the mother in the house. Let them be like a friend. Play with them, chat with them, encourage them when they are down. That is the only way they will bring all their challenges and the difficulties for you when they don't understand anything. Because they see you now like a brother or a sister or a friend. No more child, mother, son, mother relationship or whatever. It's good, but let them see a different picture. Be there for them. Hug them, play with them, have all the fun with them. And I believe God will see us through.
Okay. Patrick, any approach for a parent who feels uneasy to discuss the sex
issue
topic.
about sex. Yeah, I think what you don't know is bigger than you. And so if you don't have the knowledge about what we are talking about, probably you can find somebody who is well vexed into these areas. You know, parents also shouldn't deceive themselves. We don't know it all. There are other people that have more experience in certain areas than we do. So when we are having some of these difficulties, I believe we can contact them so that we share that experience with them. There are parents who invite other people to come home just to have a talk with their children. And I think it's a good platform just to inform them, encourage them, and then teach them that their character will be shaped in the way to benefit society and even the family at large. So if you are lacking the power to talk to your children about these things, just get the help of somebody, a decent person, somebody who will not come and take advantage over your children, but somebody who will love them like their own and give them all the help and all the support that they need, and then they can move on from there. The last point I also have to raise is that when you get to a point and then frustration is setting in, sometimes some of the kids are stubborn. Let me be plain with us, and if a mother or a father can tell you, for this child too stubborn, too stubborn, and sometimes you wish you eliminate that child out of the family, that there will be peace, but you can't do that. They are part of the family. You need to love them equally. The next thing that will channel you to is to commit everything into the hands of prayer. Let God also come at the center of the marriage. In training them, we also seek the support of God. So it's not just a matter of training, teaching, guiding, giving them all the principles. What is the essence of prayer as well? So bring prayer also on board. Now the PowerPoint in prayer will cushion all your effort and then build them up in the way that they are supposed to go. So don't escape prayer as well. Add prayer to everything. Pray with them in the morning before they leave for school. In the evening before they sleep, pray with them. When they are sick, pray for them before you take them to the hospital. Let them also see that this thing is also part of their lifestyle and they cannot do without it.
Patrick, you see, sometimes we have children who are not so fortunate. Maybe a friend, like I had, for instance, when he was not so grown, the mother was like, how can such a child learn good principles without any guidance?
Yeah, but a lot of people have gone through this particular example, and I would say it's very pathetic, honestly speaking. Recently, I listened to another man of God. I was just watching some counseling section program, and then he made a profound statement, and then he was like, when we were very young in our days, and then mom and dad should buy clothes. The clothes are normally bought for the elderly ones. So for instance, if the firstborn should receive all the new clothes, and then the second child should come, they are not going to buy new clothes for the second child. They will rather buy new clothes for the first child, and then they will pack all the old ones and do transmission into the young one's life. And so by the time we get to the third or fourth born, will complete one and it fade length. All because we are trying to save money. There was not enough. But should I grow and God prospers me and I'm able to live comfortable, there is no need for me to transport the same lifestyle that I saw in my family by allowing the second and the third and the fourth to go for old clothes. When I have the means to buy it for them, I will buy it for them, but I'll still teach them humility. When you see somebody in the old one, don't smile at them, don't mock at them, but rather encourage them. It is just by grace that you have been able to get to this place and got it once. You might have been like them as well. So parents who go through a lot of pain, and this brings back into memory the story of Jabez. The Bible says the mother struggled a lot before Jabez came to the system. But when Jabez came, and then time for the naming ceremony, and the mother was, I don't know what really influenced the mother, but she was like, I went through a lot of pain, I went through a lot of struggles at the hospital, at the child labor ward. The kind of experience I have, I don't want to forget it. So I want to tag you with a name that will always remember me of the pain and the troubles and the struggles that I went through. So I'm going to give you the name Jabez, which means pain. So anytime your name is mentioned, then I can also remember the pain I went through at the labor ward. And I don't think it is right or convenient for any mother to rewind the tape, wanted to get the experience at the labor ward. The chapter is closed and is gone. It is not a good experience. The pain and the struggle over there, it was a matter of life and death. It took only the grace of God just to deliver you and come back home safely with your fresh baby. So why would a mother want to go back to the labor ward with her emotions and her feelings anytime the name of the child is mentioned. So you sit there, you mention Jabez, and the mother started crying. Why should I mention your daughter's name or your son's name? You are crying. Say, you've remembered me of my past when I was in the labor ward, the struggle I went through. So by the time you finish crying, another man also come and mention Jabez. Say, so what cry you? And then you are killing yourself gradually. Why don't you give glory to God in the midst of the pain and the struggle that you went through? The Lord has been faithful. So look for a name that when it is being mentioned, it will erase the pain, it will erase the struggle out of your mind and bring some kind of joy and excitement into your life. Why wouldn't you do that? So for a mother or a mother who struggled in life, probably your parents were not all that rich and you couldn't even get to the level you wanted to in your academics, you couldn't get the best in life, but by the grace of God today, you are in a good position to help your children break the old protocol and let the new one be open. Train your children and set yourself as an example to them. I couldn't get the chance to go to secondary school because I was limited due to financial problems in my family by then. But today, by the grace of God, I have enough. So I'm going to push you to go to the level way beyond where I stopped. I keep telling people I wouldn't wish any of my daughters to be like me. They need to be far better off than I am. That proves that I'm a good father. But when I limit them that nobody should get to my standard, then I don't know where you are heading towards to. So every parent should open up. Your past shouldn't limit you from destroying the life of these young ones that are coming. I know one woman, she's a fishmonger at Choco. The highest academic she had in her life, class 6. That was all. And the mother was like, I am making money. I don't want to waste my money for school and stuff and things. She joined the mother in the business. By the grace of God, the mother is there, but the woman is still alive. And she has made enough money to the extent that 3 children that she had, all of them went through the university. Today, her first child is even a doctor. The second one is a nurse. The third one is an engineer. And when you get to the seaside, she's still smoking fish. I say, Mommy, bluffo no sure she can be bluffo. And she's like, correct, if she can be bluffo, your university, if she can be bluffo, you call me. Because the things I couldn't do, my children are doing it for me. And I am proud mother that when I sit and I look at them, they pack their cars and they visit me. Then people begin to ask, who are these children? That's the mother of the fishmonger over there. Lo Shalobine. So she want to tell you that, listen, the privileges I couldn't get in my time, I am going to transport them to the life of my children. And to me, it's a good example. So we shouldn't limit our children as a result of the pain we went through. Give them the best. Let them enjoy life to the latter. One day you'll be accountable to God for their sake. Your parents are also give account to God on your behalf. So do the best for your children. Do the best for them. Nothing should scare you. And like you are saying, it's true. I've heard a lot of parents complaining. I didn't go far with my academics and I stopped over here. Why am I wasting money on you? Why am I going to do this on your struggle? No child came to the earth to struggle in their. We brought them. We need to take care of them. And your provision comes from God, not the government. So your dependency should be on God, not the economy.
So Evangelist has said it all. Our children are our responsibility. Once you have children, you should know that you have a charge to keep. You should be ready to live exemplary lives that they can follow, because most of the principles that they learn is from what we as parents do. This is Family Life on Adwa TV. Today we are looking at principles a child should know before growing up. When we return from the break, we'll give you more.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Announcements on Adwa TV. Contact Adwa TV for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork Premises. Adwa TV, bringing good things to life.
Welcome back from the break. This is Family Live on Adwa TV. Today we are looking at principles a child should learn before growing. And Evangelist Patrick Tego is here. He has mentioned a couple of them. Humility is one, obedience is one, character as well. And he also mentioned prayer. But Patrick, it looks like prayer, people do not consider that much.
Yeah, many families are no more considering prayer. It is just like even the couples. When they wanted to fall in love and they begin to chase after each other, they were so committed to God in diverse ways by going to church, prayer meeting, anointing service, and all those kind of services. All in the name of getting what they want. Once they get what they want, everybody gets into hibernation and they hide themselves. And that is the reason even why many marriages and couples are still struggling today. And I keep telling people all the time, anything that you gain by prayer can only be sustained by prayer. So if I went through the medium of prayer in getting the partner that I love, then I should remember, for me to enjoy the better part of such a person, I should be focused on prayer, maintain prayer. Prayer should be like a lifestyle in our relationship. But sometimes when the couple settle down, they ignore prayer and they begin to face their issues in the carnal way, allowing not the presence and then the Holy Spirit to have his own way. So their decision making is carnal, their plans are carnal. Everything they plan is about the flesh. They are not allowing the spirit to take over. So when we plan for our children, when we plan in building a house, plan to do this, plan to do that, when we finish, we commit everything into the hands of God through the power of prayer. Probably in the midst of our sleep, the Lord may appear and do some shiftings. That, hey, don't do this, shift this one here, don't do. And he will be doing those changes because we have committed it into his hands. So families should wake up, especially the couples. They should wake up and activate their prayer life. My wife prays a lot with my children because of the nature of my ministry, the way I move about business and work and other things. Even though I make time for them, I help with the assignments, and in the mornings I may be around. I pray with them before sometimes I leave and before they leave for school. In the evening, I might not come back early due to my activities, but my wife will be around and they have a prayer she has taught them. And sometimes even when you are asleep, she will call you, do your prayer before you sleep. You will see the child dozing and still praying. And I say, it is becoming a lifestyle. You will be adjusted to it, and they go by it. When I drop at midnight, I do my own PowerPoint prayer when the entire family is sleeping. It's my duty. I am the man of the house. I have to shoulder a lot of things in the family. So I pray over them to cover them and ask God for direction in the coming week, especially in the fresh month. And we are believing God for new things to happen, new dimensions, especially on behalf of our children. And we are trusting God for all this. So families that have drawn away from the presence of God and they have locked the chamber of prayer, I encourage them to open their doors again. Pray for your children. Even when your children are married and they have gone, still pray. Let your prayers follow them so that they will enjoy the marriage, so that they will not endure. Once they endure, they will come back to you again. And you also need to have peace with your wife and your husband. So even when they are married and they are far away, still commit them and their marriage into the hands of God. God, I pray for my children. I commit them into your hands. Help them to enjoy the marriage. Provide for them. Speak to God on their behalf. That is the only way. More prayer in the family will cause more discipline in the family. But when you allow prayer to leave, the devil will come and engage your house and bring all the wahalas and the troubles and everything, and you can't handle. That is the reason why many parents' BP level have changed. Because you used to train the children the way, the kind of pressure they can give you in the morning when you wake up as a parent. If you don't have the wisdom of God and the mind of God to train them, pressure. Today, many children are giving their parents pressure. And some of them are dying before their time. All because you refuse to give discipline and order. When you refuse to give discipline and order, they will give you pressure and they will cause you to die before your time. So we should wake up and change the angle of everything and let prayer be very much important in their lives. I have seen couples I visited for a program. I stayed there for a week and I'll be there in the morning when the children will leave for school before we go for the program and come back. And sometimes in the afternoon, the man will call me, so can you be of help to us? I say, what is it? He said, my kids are in school, but exactly 12 o'clock in the afternoon, we also do we intercede for them, even while they are in school, just for 30 minutes. I was like, wow, this bullet is good for me. So quickly, I also put the thing down. I may not be in the house, but wifey might be around. So I called her. I said, now listen, this time around, we need to add this story. So 12 o'clock in the afternoon, wherever you are, say a prayer for them, wherever I may be. I may connect with you in the spirit. I may also share the same thing with them. And when we entered, they've designed one room and they call it their prayer chamber. The only thing you see over there is a Bible, no chair. They said this is a warfare room. When you get there, you have to stand. You don't have the time to sit. One Bible is over. We got there and say, okay, today you are a guest, so you will lead us to pray for our children and all other children. And when we started praying, the presence that came to the room, I understand the reason why the children of such couples were doing so much well. They might be the one praying for their own. What about the other children? What are their parents doing at that particular hour? So prayer is very key for me. We shouldn't joke with it. For the past 2 months, the Lord has been speaking to me much about children. We've been praying for them, most of the program that I attend, speaking into their life, trusting God for their future, for direction, for guidance, massively. We want to see a better generation compared to our own.
But Patrick, sometimes we have parents who, due to circumstances, find it so difficult to pray as a family, even in the mornings, and then in the evenings too when they return. They are so tired that they also can't pray. Now, if we want to make sure that our children learn how to include prayers in their daily lives, should we, like you said, you ask them to pray and then you leave them, or should you stand on them and make sure that they pray?
But laying a foundation for the first time, your presence is much needed. You need to be part of the team. It should be a teamwork. And I don't think any parent should be too busy to neglect prayer. The effort, listen, I have seen many couples making money. Today, they've made the millions in their life, but their children have gone wayward. And now, the money is there, the material gains are there, the cars and the houses are there, but they are having children who cannot be controlled. So just balance the equation. Fine, money is good. We are all looking for money just to make sure that our children will live a better life. But money without prayer is disaster. So sometimes also make quality time. Nobody have time. That is why we make time. Make the time yourself. Let it be your normal duty. Currently, the system have changed. So for my children, exactly 4:30, everybody should be awake. I don't care about your age. 4:30, you need to be awake. Getting prepared to take your bath, trying to settle down, pack your books, your assignments and everything. Other things will be done for you, polishing your shoes and your school uniform and stuff and things. And we just check all these things. As soon as you finish, then we zoom into prayer, probably for 10 minutes. We zoom into family prayer. We are all there. We pray together. When we finish, take your breakfast, and then the movement for school for the day is here. Then you just, so make that time. So that I also have things to do. But how should I prepare somebody's house to be better when my own is struggling? So I have to steal some time just to make that time with my family. Pray with them, encourage them, and then go. By the time they will return, at least most of the time I will meet them. Sometimes by the time they come back, they are asleep. But I know my madam was also there to help with that area. And then I'll do my personal. So we should make that conscious effort, especially in the morning. No matter how busy you are, wake them up early. I'm not saying wake them up around 3 o'clock or whatever. At least 5 o'clock will be okay. I have my reasons to adjust to 4:30 because when you are trying to wake children around 4:30, automatically they are telling you we get up around 5:15. So it's a strategy. Start waking them up at 4:30. By 5, they will be up. And then you just continue with what you have to. So the parents should make a conscious of it. Money is good, but prayer without it, Master, you're digging your own grave. Digging your own grave. Honestly. I may be there in the house sometimes. I have nothing to do. I pick the day off. I just want to stay around. So I'll be there. That day I decided even to take them to school. Myself, I carry them through, take them to their various classrooms, speak to their teachers and everything. I want to be concerned. My money and everything going there is out of my sweat. So I have to see the essence of the money that I paid. I talk to them. I get back home. I tell my wife, it's getting late. Afternoon is coming. What are they going to enjoy? And let me prepare something for them. So when they come and it's like, what is available? I say, I prepare something for you. Say, hey, daddy, wow. You are adding up something to their life. We don't have the time, but we make it. They finish, I help them do your assignment. Go and take a little bath. Come and do whatever you have to do small. Go and rest your brains after school. Prepare for extra classes and what have you. And then the journey continues. Sometimes you'll be there, they want you to talk to us. Just talk to us. I say, okay, then we'll talk about the Bible. We'll talk about this. We'll talk. So I bring examples out and I begin to let them be part of your life. I see fathers moving early in the morning. The kids are sleeping. They come back, the children are sleeping. They move, the children are sleeping. They come back. The only means they get access to them weekends. And even some of the weekends are dangerous weekends. You have programs and activities and you are moving helter skelter. Oh, they're not making money, I'm making money. The devil will make it. You make the money, but the devil will make the time for your children. So we should be very careful. Every family, including all the workers at Adwa TV, if you are married, make time for your children. Pray with them. Encourage them. You struggle before getting the money, so don't let it go down the drain just like that. And they will grow to be responsible. One day I want to sit back as a grandpa, see my daughters happily married. Their husbands calling me and say, you've given me a gold, a precious jewel. Then I know my efforts and my struggles never went in vain. And that alone is enough, more than money. It's okay. I like that one more than the whatever. So
we've seen the importance of prayer. Same way we can say society also plays an important role in the lives of people. Now, how can the society impart good principles in children?
it's very simple, but of late, when you check what is happening within the society, only few, I will tell you, have the mind and the brains to help in areas that we are all needed. But it seems like each one for himself, the good Lord for us all. So society, I will say, majority side of it don't care anymore. In the days of old, should your child close from school and begin to mess up in town, when I meet your child on the way, it is my responsibility to put the child back on track. I can even discipline the child before the child gets back home. But today, who are you to discipline my child when I don't know you? You are not a family member, you are not a friend, just a total stranger. And you discipline my child and you are telling me that my child was messing up and you discipline my child. Wahala for you. So society must be bold and strong enough. We are there to correct the messes that is out of sight, the parents, and then we will help shape it, because once we have a solid society, a unified society, society that cares for each other, then we will have a peaceful environment to live in. I will not sit back to see your children misbehaving and I will keep quiet and I will tell you that it is not my responsibility. Then why are we in the same community? Why are we in the same vicinity? I would do it to them the same way I would do it for my daughters or my sons. So I'm not going to waste time on that. So society must wake up. And we should be activated in all these areas. Anything that is not right, we should speak against it with all boldness, so that we will have a peaceful, quiet oneness within our environment. If not, our kids are picking up the wrong signals from the society because nobody is helping. Your daughter goes out, come back, and then the next day you ask her to go and shortcut your hair, and then she comes back with some arrow keys over here, some V shape over here, and then you ask her, what kind of nonsense is this? And then she will tell you, when I went to the salon, I saw a Manson's daughter, I saw Park with his daughter, we were all having all this nice time. I mean, I look good in it. Society is giving us a different dimension because nobody wants to talk. But I believe the time is now. Our young guys are coming back with short panties, short skirts, short things. Now the young boys are piercing their ear, wearing earrings and everything, wanted to be like our women. And so if I have a son and now you are putting on earrings, and I have daughters and they're also buying the same thing, indirectly you are telling me when I get to town, daddy, when you are coming, earrings for everybody. Somebody must speak. We are too quiet in our society. That is the reason why we have given armed robbers and thieves and prostitutes and all other strange characters within our community, because we saw them from the very beginning. We saw them from their very foundation. But everybody wants to mind their own business. If I mind the business of my own daughters and sons in my chambers, and somebody also refused to teach their own, and they all grew up in the same environment, why wouldn't they rape my daughters when they are fresh? Why wouldn't they come and steal my things in my house when I'm no more around? So it is a responsibility we all to take up and fight in the community. Your daughter is messing up, I have the legal right to correct your daughter. My son is messing up, you also have that legal right to build it up. And then these communal labor things also must be activated. There should be some communique once in a while. When was the last time you visited your nearby neighbor, I mean your next door neighbor, at a weekend? You call them, this weekend my family wants to come over to your place. When we begin to affect each other like this, I believe it's going to be of a PowerPoint for us. And I have seen couples and they are there with their kids. Other children visit them on weekends and they want to watch television. Sometimes the mother will be inside and we hear strange talks, and then the mother comes out with all boldness. Hey, in my house, no nonsense. No this discussion in my house. You should be disciplined. Now quickly the mother begin to teach it. And the daughter will be like, I never knew. I never knew. I never knew. When you are able to train such a child and she leaves, she will come back the next day because she's still looking for more. So we should be concerned about the environment, about the society, about the communities that we live in. Everybody's problem is somebody's problem. Yeah. Don't sleep over it. Don't sleep. I see young girls passing by my areas, and the way they are dressed and their breasts have hip hop, short skin, nice girls, secondary school girls, and sometimes I begin to wonder where is this craziness from. So politely I called him. I said, you are a secondary school candidate. The next 2 years to come, you are in the university, a mature student. Your brains will be activated over there. Over there, somebody needs not to guide you. You need to do things by yourself. Only few guidance will come. Why are you destroying your life? I'm one-on-one on the streets. So they know me. Sometimes they'll be messing. I say, hey, Papa Nubao. And I like it when they do it that way because I am concerned. One day I wanted to have a gentleman to marry, not a bastard to go with. I want the lady also to know that you also get somebody good to marry. So when consent comes together and we blow it, I mean, it helps. Too quiet in the society. That is where the bad norms and characters are being picked from. The signals are being picked from because we are living there with them. We have no choice. So we should help to shape the society. And we must speak. We are too quiet. Too quiet. We live in a compound now. You cook your food, then you call your daughters and your son inside the room. Zoom. When there is this young girl over there who is starving and needed something to eat, simple wisdom should tell you, save that little girl some food. Allow the girl to come to you, talk to her, encourage her. All they need sometimes is encouragement. Encouragement. We should be there for each other. Your own blood sister, because of money, you want to sacrifice her. I stood there for 30 minutes. I encouraged him. I spoke with him. I walked him back to his house. I called the sister and the mother and the father. I encouraged them and I spoke to them about it. So I cut the thing. I said, these items, I'm going to pray with you. And if you make any stupid attempt, you will die before your time. Sometimes a little fear will track. And then I just came back to my room. The following day, I was going to buy something by the roadside. The guy saw me and called me and said, Pastor, thank you for yesterday. I said, who are you? He said, I was the guy you spoke to yesterday, the Sakawa boy. I said, you are not Sakawa boy. When I pray for you, you are no more Sakawa. You are now a child of God. Find a Bible-believing church and attend. Society. When I overheard them, I could have ignored it and go and sleep. Yeah. But I have to show concern. Today, even girls are doing fraud on the internet, not only the young guys. The young girls in the areas are also doing. Where are the parents? Where are the principals? Where are the discipline? Where is the prayer? My prayer at midnight is for my community and my environment where I live. God just refined this environment. All the nonsense over here must stop. So we have work to do.
Yeah.
We have work to do.
So actually, even if you are in a certain area and you see something going on, you need to talk.
You need to talk. We need boldness. We need to come out. My wife, I can tell you, will see these girls misbehaving. When the thing is higher than the way she expected, she will come and call me and will bring them back to me. And I have the time to discipline them. I have the time. Recently, one of the girls just completed secondary school. The results were not in. The following month, we saw this nice girl, slim girl, plantain chips. For her, she's correct plantain chips girl. Slim and kasa. And the height, I love it. Nice girl. And was pregnant. How do you finish secondary school and get yourself pregnant? If I am a father, I have a daughter, I struggle day and night, pay your fees, feed you. And you know, taking care of a girl child cannot be compared to that of a boy. The expenses you make on your daughters are higher than your boys. And so when I do all these things, and then the end result of your WAEC result, pregnancy, is it not an insult for me, the parent? Negligence. I overlook certain things. And so they flew by themselves, do things by themselves because nobody charges them. But for me, wild lion, whether you are my daughter or not, you are my son or not, once I see you with a mess, I will rebuke you because nobody can tell what will happen tomorrow. Yeah. Maybe that bastard over there one day is going to marry one of my daughters. This is the best time for me to transform their lives. So we need to be concerned. We need to be concerned. All my friends that I have, their daughters and their sons are my daughters as well. When you mess up in turn, I will beat you. Go back and tell your father. I will discipline. Father will call me to come back to the house and top up. We don't discipline because we hate you, but we are doing it because we love you. We want to be a better person in future. So society must wake up. Yeah. Society must wake up.
And I think it's a shame where parents, they'll sit at home and they expect their children to go to the cafe, go and work at night. Oh, yeah. Bring them money.
Yeah.
They don't feel ashamed to take the money.
Yeah. That is why I'm saying a lot of the parents also need to wake up. Yeah. They need to. Today you will be there. It's a daily activity. Daily activity. I want to take a video shot and I'll take some of the pictures and stuff. I'll send it to you.
Sometimes when we hear these things, people think they are just stories.
And then they have this game. I don't know what they call it black book. I don't know what kind of this soccer ball something. Where the cafe is, there is one of these black book thing also in front over there. So the younger one, the 7, the 8, the 9 years, who couldn't get access to the cafe, they also bet. When they get there, they will tell you, we put our coin inside, but we're going to play a game. When I win you, you will take this money from me. I saw. So they are also there. At that tender age, the last time I took a cane, I went there. And everybody, rah, 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 rah. And then the man was like, you are destroying my business. I said, I'm destroying your business. You are also destroying the future of these children. Then one woman joined me. It's also for Yamin Shirao. Nonsense must stop. We need to be serious because, listen, a time will come, if care is not taken. Even when your daughter is 22 years, you can no longer say her to buy something for you. You will go by yourself. Because these boys by then will be hungry for crazy things. Send her and they will do justice to her. So the fear is now coming. Because parents refuse to talk. Society refuses to talk. Now your daughter is 20 years. Go and buy me kinky. I have to work with you together. What is the essence of me working with you? Then sleep. Let me buy my own kinky. Fear of being raped. See these guys in the not know they are blowing the thing all over the place. My fears. My fears. Humility. You know where you are coming from. Support your mother, get more. One day, get a good job. Your younger one is coming. Out of the work you will do, you will also be supportive to her. Recently, I went there and the mother was like, oh, so why ain't my power? I said, don't worry. It's part of my work as a minister in the society. So I'm doing my responsibility, everything that I have to do. And gradually, things will change. Gradually, things will change. I saw one stupid boy also call himself cool man. These lesbian stupid boys and turning themselves to be. One day I stopped this guy and said, bro, you are a gentleman, you are not a lady. Don't insult God with your lifestyle. You are a boy. Accept the fact that you are a boy. All that foolishness going on in your mind. People passing by stools like, Ah, and a long now, get bono, shelly of we, bonka. I entered into them. And so in the area when I pop up and it's like, I want discipline to be in my area. And for your information, get the programs when I stop late coming back around 12 midnight, these guys will be there and they will be with me till I get back to my chamber before they will go back. And I love that relationship. I want to be there for the society. We want to help transform the society where I can see my daughters in the midst of these decent young guys and they can have a fruitful discussion and I have no problem. Where I can see these girls standing there having fruitful discussion without any problem and I'm okay with it. But once the society is polluted, I am afraid. Even coming from my daughters to son house, I have to shout, go inside. The environment is poisoned. You can't be there. So we need to wake up. We need to wake up.
So sometimes even all that they need is some little guidance.
Yeah. And fortunately for those of us who have known the way, we have the principles, we are able to raise our children very well. For those who are lacking, even if they don't come to you, I prefer you also take that boldness and go to them in a very polite manner. Share your experiences with them. Support them with your advice, anything you can be of help to, just to raise them together. Just get there. Just get there.
Patrick, when is the right time to start introducing these principles to them?
Like I was saying, the old generation cannot be compared to the new generation. In the older generation, 20 years, they still consider you to be a child. But today, what your 10-year and 11 years and 12 years daughters and sons know, you'll be amazed. So you watch them. You know, every level and the principles you will give to them and make sure that they will begin to grow with them. Once they begin to grow with them, then you begin to tighten the situation. So as they enter into the adulthood and then get matured over there, everything now there will be blessed. So I can sit here, my daughter will be here. You are matured. Are you having a boyfriend? Talk to me like not your dad, even as a friend, or do you have a boyfriend? I mean, let's dialogue. I am not saying that it is a bad thing to have a boy, but the timing. So we can come over there and then I'll tell them, once you are schooling and you are struggling with the academics, how do you marry relationship with your books? They can't go together. You'll be distracted. You will lose focus. So why don't you complete your academics, get a good job, a sound job? Once you get it and you are doing this thing, now you are responsible. You are mature. Your brains are active. Now you can take decisions on your relationship. But you are in secondary school and you are having a boyfriend. How do you marry the two? Academics and love, petrol and fire, they don't go together. They don't go together. So don't dare. You are a beautiful damsel, no doubt. But maintain it until you get to the higher institution. By then you are on leverage grounds and you can decide what is good and what is not good for you. Don't allow pleasure to destroy your future plans that you have.
Our time is up. Would you like to wrap up?
Yeah, my advice to parents who are watching, they shouldn't be discouraged. Maybe your kids are already running helter-skelter in the house. They've destroyed your marriage. They've destroyed your peace of mind and everything. But remember, it is not over until it is over. Commit everything to the hands of God and then search and look for people that can help you in supporting you as well as bringing your children the way it's expected so that one day you will live to enjoy and bring down the pressure and then the wahala and everything. For our children also that are much grown and are listening, they should also take it easy in life. Learn examples from your parents, from elderly ones who are matured and sensitive to the things that they are doing so that one day you will also be at the top and just turn back and tell the story how it used to be. It is not over and we trust God that things will fall in line. But in all, remember that prayer is the key. When you are stressed, you are tired, you are frustrated in the marriage, especially with your children, just go down your knees wherever you are, whether in the kitchen, in the toilet, in the bathhouse, wherever you find yourself. Just go down your knees, just cry to God, talk to God. You gave me these gifts, you blessed me with these children. The wahala, the struggle is becoming too much. You are my only dependent. I am depending on you. Make a way for me, open that door for me. Prayer, and believe in your prayer. And I trust God will be of help to you. You will see the transformation in their lives, and you will know that the hand of God is upon my marriage. I know it will work, and upon the life of my children as well.
Thank you so much, Patrick. We are so grateful to Evangelist Patrick Teigo, and thank you also for tuning in to make time with us here on Family Life. We've changed our time. We'll move from 1 to 2:30, so we are no longer from 12 to 1:30. So make a date with us, and we also have a repeat of the program on Tuesdays, 12 to 1:30. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch. To my production team, thank you. I hope next week you'll also tune in again to learn with us here on Family Life. Remember, here on Family Life, the family is our priority. See you next week.